Hey, good morning to you all. Welcome to Integrated Preparedness. If you're new here or just stumbled across this channel, I'm Steve Smith, and we're going to talk today about should you buy guns. Now, I'm going to say right off, yes, you should, but I'm going to explain why in a couple of minutes. Uh, I just started shooting this, and Mark came over. Mark, my buddy, my one, and we're going out to hang Christmas lights here in just a little bit. And since he wore I got my hat on, which is far better. I'm gonna ask Mark to explain it in a second. I've done it. Far better than a cap when you're out working in the sun. And I'm going to tell you why. Before we get to the main issue here. And by the way, did you all hear about? And I'm sure you did. It's been all over. There's several things. Oh! Before I get to those things, witches have apparently said that they're having difficulty casting spells on Trump because he has some kind of protection around him. That should give some of you some reason to think, right? And you've heard about the new directive that that the DOD or whoever above them has now allows the active military to fire on American citizens in the continental United States in support of law enforcement. You've heard about that, right? I said that to Kelly. We were watching our daughter cheer at a middle school football game yesterday. I said, I don't know if you'll care about this or not, but did you hear that about the directive that now allows our military to fire on American citizens and on American soil? And she looked at me. She said, "Why would I not care about that?" And that's right. Everybody should care about that. And then there was some other weirdo. Oh yeah, and then somebody in our government, you can guess which side, um, has sent all of our plans, all of our military plans, or not, no, not of ours, all of Israel's military plans to Iran. Hmm. Who would do that? Ask yourself. And before I get into that, I'm going to turn this around to Mark in a minute. We're going to talk for just a moment about cowboy hats, and then we're going to get to should you buy guns? The answer being yes, but I'll tell you why. Um, the the people who won't vote. Let me chap some asses out there, if I may. We're coming into a very consequential election here. It's going to determine which direction our country takes. And there are some people out there who won't step up and do their part, and they are called people who won't vote, people who won't stand up, who won't stand against the greater evil. And of course, these are the people who say, "Well, I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils. After all, he said he made mean tweets and all that, and he's been divorced and he's grabbed women and all sorts of things. I'm not. I'm just too good to vote for that." Let me say here, and I will check after this and fully expect to have lost a lot of subscribers. And I will say to this, good, because the people who will be offended at this, I don't want here. What was that Samuel Adams said? Those who won't stand up depart in peace. I should know this by heart, but I don't. And may posterity forget that ye were ever our countrymen. And that's the way I feel about people who won't vote. People who won't vote, let me explain this very, very succinctly. They are intellectually lazy and morally weak. Intellectually lazy because they won't take the time to study and see the differences. And if you can't see differences between Reagan and Carter, or Trump and Obama, or Trump and Biden, or Trump and Harris, you are intellectually lazy. And those people, and I'm sure I'm not talking to you, I'm talking about that idiot behind you out there. And and besides that, they are morally weak. And by I say that, the person who refuses to stand against the greater evil is supporting the greater evil. And of course, they'll say, "Well, I am not going to vote for the lesser evil." Well, by definition, you are supporting you're supporting the greater evil. So bye-bye to all of those. And there's a lot of them, right? 30% of evangelical Christians apparently don't vote, and 30% of gun owners don't vote. And these are the people who, of course, will rise up in their moral superiority. What they do have energy for is to stand and say how stupid people are who are actually trying. Because it's easier to criticize. It's the old Roosevelt man in the arena. It's so easy to criticize people and to say, oh, you're so stupid for thinking that there can be a difference. So I look forward to seeing all of the comments along that vein and going, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Because this channel, as is American Reversion, a channel for people who actually do something, who will actually invest in themselves and their children and their grandchildren, their future, and all of that. Mark, did I say that all right? Do you think I got my point across?
I think that was very succinct.
Okay, Mark is sitting over there behind you, so don't make any sudden moves. He's watching. He's watching you. Okay. What I'm gonna say, I'm gonna show you a difference before we get to should you buy guns, and right now, and I mean it. The difference in hats, cowboy hats. Now, the difference between a hat and a cap is this: that a hat has, and I know that people call caps hats. They're not. A cap has a bill on it. A hat has a brim on it that goes all the way around. It protects you from the sun, the scorching sun. It protects you from the rain and the snow and the elements, and it helps to cool you. Now, I'm going to turn this around. And I'm going to tell you why Mark's hat is better than mine, okay? But I'm going to let him share with you first. I bought. Is that one I bought you?
Yeah.
Is that the first? No, second one I bought you, right?
No, this is the first one.
First one? First one I bought you. Okay, I bought him a couple of cowboy hats, which was kind of funny because Mark was never a country guy, a cowboy guy, or anything like that. He's a hard rocker. He played a band in college and all that, and he loved the kind of music that made me go. Yeah. But then again, to be fair, the kind of music that I listened to, country music, made him go, yeah, until he started to see that country music was about life. Am I saying that just about right?
That's about right.
That's about right.
Good sound effect. I like it.
This might end up being a podcast. Who knows? Maybe you and I should do more podcasts. Maybe we'll do podcasts on the Stonemont channel.
We could do that.
We'll talk about that. Right? Let me turn around so you all can see Mark. Mark, I won't be able to see, but you tell me when you can see yourself so that they can see you.
All right, go back a little bit. I think
back
there I am. I think I got center screen there.
Okay.
Yep, there we go.
You want to tell them that? Okay, there we go. We're on the patio out here that needs to be re-evened because it's a brick patio. So you want to tell them what a difference that hat made yesterday when we were out working?
Well, it made all the difference in the world for me. I'm a bigger guy and I run hot most of the time anyways. You could put a cap on my head and my body temperature go up 10 degrees instantly. And if you're wearing a vented hat, a vented ball cap, it helps, and it'll keep the sun off your face. It doesn't do anything for your neck. And if it's raining, it doesn't do anything for your face or your neck either. Well, this time of year it's usually cold, and it's not cold right now, which we like for doing Christmas lights for sure. And I usually wear a cotton hat or a heavier ball cap this time of year, and it's been so warm. I've been wearing my summer cowboy hat, and I haven't been wearing it for work. And yesterday was the first time I actually wore this straw hat out for work, and it's vented out top, which I didn't realize was going to serve me so well, but it sure did, because usually, I'm just steaming, even in a ball cap, and I would have been sweating my butt off actually wearing that cotton camo ball cap that I have, and this thing actually let air through and it let air out, and it kept sun off my head and neck, and I was already burned. I'm fair skinned anyway, so my tan is red. So this made all the difference in the world, especially this late in the year with the sun the way it is, 10 degrees warmer than I guess seasonally. So I really enjoyed it, and I got my felt one for when it's warm. Colder out, which is great for when it gets rainy, but this serves both purposes right now in the heat. And these vents were way different than my other straw hat, which has 3 holes on the side, but it's more of a formal hat. Looks good if you're going to a dinner or music concert or something for them. There's the sirens. We live in the suburbs.
And I remind people that around here, a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't stand the sound of sirens. It means that people are in trouble." And I say, "Well, around here, it means that they got a problem and help is on the way, right?"
That is exactly right.
Mark was in the business for a long time. He retired as a lieutenant off of Johnson County Medac, and so he's saved more lives than I can count. But I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, that's all right. I think that brought me to the end on the hat. I have 2 or 3 of these straw hats now. I love them, and I like my felt hat. I'll probably get a couple more. I've never been super country or anything like that, but I like the utility of these hats, and that's what I'm all about, I guess. I like utility. If it's got a value to it, it's useful, then I like it. And this is definitely worth the investment if you work outside. So I recommend you pick one up if it's warm and you're going to be outside and you don't want to get burned.
All right. Good. Hey, you want to lift up your cup and show them, hey,
There
everybody,
we go.
you can order these again. The shop placement is everything.
Yep.
And just go to our website. You see on the side there, my preferred calibers, 4357, 45 ACP, and 10 mil.
That's right.
And you can get them on the website, stonemont.us. Okay, now I will turn them around to see me again. But you all don't, be careful. He's still watching you he's behind you. Now my hat, the one I'm wearing, as you can see, it's not as well vented as Mark's is. It just has some small hairs, so I don't get the ventilation through this hat that he does. So I should have bought myself that one too, but I didn't. By the way, and as we get to should you buy guns, I am drinking my coffee today out of our mug. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Somebody asked me yesterday, Steve, where can I get these mugs? You can get all these. We got some great mugs, and they are all on our Stonemont website, stonemont.us, right? US, not .com, US. And on the back of it, it has something, a quote from one of our favorite people, Thomas Jefferson, from the Declaration of Independence. Most of you are familiar with this. If you're not, you ought to be. And part of it says that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Times are coming, guys, to stand up for this. Now, let me take a sip, and I'll tell you why you should buy guns now. By the way, welcome to everybody who recently joined us on the Patreon channel. It's great to have you. If you haven't, you're invited. Links down below. We got this election coming up in a couple of weeks. We don't know what's going to happen. Everybody who's for Trump can't believe that Harris has a chance in hell, because everybody that we know, for the most part, is on the right end, meaning right in both ways. However, what you have to understand is that everybody who's for Harris feels the same way about them. They don't know anybody who's for Trump. They don't know anybody who doesn't hate Trump. They can't imagine that Trump has a snowball's chance in hell, and they're just sure he's going to prison because that's where they want him to be if they can't kill him. And so we have this. So for those of you on the right side, don't be so sure. But I've said this for a long time. I said this back before Biden bowed out. I said, don't be surprised if he wins, because everybody, nobody thought that Clinton could be reelected because he was such a bozo the first term, and he did. Nobody thought that Obama could get in because he was such an ass, and he did. Okay, Democrats have a tendency to be reelected no matter how bad they are, simply because the Democrats hang together, whereas the Republicans and conservative, you all will split on anything. You all will just fragment on any little thing, and then you won't stand up. Well, I'm not going to vote because blah, blah, blah. Okay, like I talked about before, that's the danger. There is such a difference between these two candidates. I mean, I can't even explain it, and people who don't understand, they won't understand. They're bound and determined not to, so I won't waste my breath. But I'm telling you right now that if Harris wins, and we're out, what are we, 13 days out now, right, Mark? 13 days out from the election. If Harris wins, the price of guns is going to start skyrocketing. Now, Mark and I were talking about this the other day. We both agreed that we don't need any more guns, and I won't go in any farther than that because I'll probably have another video on that. We'll just kind of see. If Harris wins, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and you can do it or not. But the price of guns will skyrocket. It will both skyrocket, and you will soon see a shortage of guns, and that will increase and increase and increase until the election, until they come out with a what do they call it? Executive order that will stop you from buying anything. Okay, so you will be spending more money if you wait, and then you might not be able to get them. If you all remember, Mark and I were talking yesterday. Remember back when you couldn't find guns? When was that? What was the issue? Was that Obama?
That was Obama.
Yeah, Obama. Okay, you couldn't find a gun. Couldn't find a gun anywhere. Matter of fact, if I have time, I'll tell you a funny story here. Yeah, I do, and that is about the importance of supportive spouses. And people were paying astronomical amounts for guns, right? And ammo. You couldn't find 22 to save your life. You couldn't find any of the common rounds to save your life. You could probably get, I don't know, some kind of Lapua or something. But, who has that, right? And when you could find them, and remember when they did have them, they were limiting people to 2 boxes of 22s and all. Okay, here's what's going to happen. Doesn't matter whether there's a real shortage. It's the shortage created by panic buying. Okay, so buying now, you will have it, and if you already have as many as you need, these are investments, guys. These are investments. If you can buy doesn't matter, rifle, pistol, 10 rifles, 10 pistols, however many, right now, when it all comes down, people are going to pay you twice what you paid. That's the definition of an investment, and that beats the S&P and your 401k and your Bitcoin and your gold and everything else. And that's the advice from old Uncle Steve, from old Uncle Jim Wyatt. Okay, I'll tell you the story about this, and the important thing was back when you couldn't find any guns, and I was coming back from doing lights one night. I think I was still doing them by myself. Mark hadn't come to work with me yet, and I was cold, and it was a horrible year, and it was cold. I was still working full time at the hospital, and it was already dark, and I decided to stop by Academy Sports just to see. I think probably to see if they had any ammo there, right, or something. Well, as I was walking past the gun counter, I glanced over and I saw what I thought might be a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport, their AR, and which I like. I like the basics. Daniel Defense. I don't have any Daniel Defense. I'm not paying $2,000 for a rifle. Okay, and I tell people, especially when they're beginning, any rifle up there on the shelf can shoot better than you can. Until you are an expert, just get something basic, and then when you can get 3 for the price of 1, I'm all about it. Well, I looked over there, and there was this AR sitting there, and it looked I thought, man, something made me. I said, that's a Smith, and I love Smith & Wesson. Smith & Ruger. Pretty much all my ARs are Smith & Ruger because they're very much alike. And so I stopped and I asked the guy, is that a Smith M&P 15? Yeah. I said, well, let me see it. And I looked at it and I looked at the price, and it was not an inflated price. I said, I'll take it. So I called Kelly at home. I said, I'm going to be a little bit late. I'm out here I stopped by Academy Sports, and I'm buying a rifle. And for everybody, I just don't understand the preppers that have to hide things from their husbands or their wives. First off, I tell you that's an issue to solve right there. Right, Mark?
Yeah, 100%.
That's right. And so when people say, my wife would kill me if I got that, or my husband would kill me. I had somebody not long ago that said her husband would have a fit or kill her or something if she spent $1 to join the Patreon channel. I says, guys, you have other issues that you need to be dealing with. before you even think about preparing, I guess. But anyway, so I bought that and I came home, and Kelly had never seen an AR before, because I had not had any. I was pretty much a handgun guy, and so she said, I walked in. She said, "What? So what'd you get?" And I said, "Well, here, I'll show you." And and she had expected that I was picking up a hunting rifle or a 22 or something like that, and she looked at it. And I tell people that when she saw it, when I held it up to her, when she saw it, it was like a combination of a woman seeing a puppy and a diamond ring. Kelly, you can imagine that, right? Uh, and I said, "You want to hold it?" And she says, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, here." And man, I thought she was going to cuddle that thing. I thought she wanted to take that to bed. And she says, and when I told her, and that I got it for a good deal, you know what she said? She said, "Well, why didn't you get two?" So there's a lesson for all of you who wanted them. So now, guys, is the time to buy guns. You got about 13 days. That if you've got a little extra cash, which you should always have some extra, right? Always have some extra. Now would be a good time. Now would be a good time to buy guns, and I'd say ammo too. What do you think, Mark?
Definitely. I mean, don't go crazy, but buy the calibers that you
Right.
are deficient in, and anything that you don't have, you could always sell later, I guess, if you need to. But
That's right. Neither one of us are 9mm guys. Yeah, now we both have 9mm, guns, but we don't carry them because why. And but 9mm ammo would be good to buy because so many people in the world carry 9mm. And when all of a sudden, if you buy a box of 9mm for $15, and right now somebody's going to say, "I don't know where you think you can get 9mm for $15." Well, I can't. I'm sorry, you live in California. All right, I live here in Kansas. If you want a better life, move here. But they're $15 here. Okay. And when they go up to $45 a box, or nobody can buy them, and some of these people are saying, like they did last time, "Well, you just got to pay what you have to pay." I heard so many people say that during that shortage. Well, this is what ammo costs now. You just have to pay what it takes. And I was telling you guys, don't. You ought to have what you need anyway. Okay, don't pay these inflated prices. They're going down. Guns and ammo are commodities. They flow with, it's all about, the supply and demand, right? So if you pick up a bunch of boxes for $15 a box, and nobody can find it anymore, and you can sell them for 30, well, you're going to kick about 100% profit. One more swig out of my obedience, or my rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God mug, and we'll close this out. So think about that. Think about all the things I said. See if it's in your budget. Like Mark said, don't go crazy. Don't put yourself in debt. But this is why you shouldn't. This is why you should be able to. So we're going to go out there. It is a beautiful day in eastern Kansas. Not a cloud nor a chemtrail in the sky. And we just love doing this. We get up there on those houses and we look at each other and say, "Man, this beats working."
Sure does.
And yeah.
Sure does.
So get out there and do something. Take your preparedness seriously, because the time is coming. You're going to be glad you did, I think. Don't take this election for granted. It could go either way. And I tell you, if it goes the wrong way, we're on the road to hell. And
get out there and vote.
Get out there and vote. Get out there and vote. And if you have one of these, if you have some friends or family members who are those, intellectually lazy, emotionally weak people, see what you can do about straightening them out. And if you can't, let them go. Don't listen to them. Realize that they are the problem. They are the problem. There's an old saying, don't take criticism from somebody you wouldn't ask for advice. And it's the same thing. If they're that much of an idiot, you just let them go. I don't mean cut them out of your life. Just forget about them, because when we run into hard times, just remember they help the enemy. Okay. Well, I hope that I've pissed off enough people today. Or illuminated enough people. Let me put it that way, because it is never my intention to take people off. It's really not. It's my intention to put out there some truth, and like they say, the truth can hurt, right? If you think that, if you understand that you're wrong and it's aimed at you, it'd be a better thing to say, let me square myself away. Okay. All right. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later, and so will Mark. Bye-bye.